Hey guys, I'm Tom. My channel's Liquidation Motivation. My store is called Resale America. I own the world's largest liquidation store here in Lakeland, Florida. And today I want to talk to you about the collectibles market, how to make money on collectibles. All right guys, collectibles are a great thing to buy and sell. Always buy collections. You can break them up, sell them for much more money. Always look to make base hits off collectibles. You know, you can buy stuff for $1, $2 at thrift stores, flea markets, sell them for 10, 20 bucks, sell them on eBay. Collectibles are great for eBay. Always look to buy things out, to find base hits, to make a little bit of money, and then you're always looking for the home run. So every once in a while you come across something that's worth a lot of money, and you can buy it for cheap, and that's just the way the market works with buying and selling. So we work every day to make base hits, to pay our bills, to be able to function, to be able to go out to dinner, and then we look for that home run for the future. Okay, so what do you got to think about collectibles market? Always be paying attention to collectibles. This is a basic supply and demand graph here. Okay, as demand goes up, price goes up. So we're looking to try to predict where demand goes up so that we can get more value out of these collectibles. We want to buy the product before the demand goes up. So collectibles work in a lot of different areas. One of them is age specific. Everybody wants to buy the toys that they played with as kids. All right, so you know, when I was a kid, I was playing with Evel Knievel. We had like the wind-up motorcycle, and it took off and did jumps. Stretch Armstrong. We had comic books. We had the WWF, the wrestlers. We had Star Wars. Okay, so what you need to understand is that people have the most earning power in their 50s. Maybe a little before, maybe a little after, but 50s is the greatest age range for spending money, okay? So this is how the graph works. You start off at about 10 years old, you start remembering your memories from back in the day, from when you were a kid. You remember what you were playing with, all right? Up to about 15 or 16 when you start thinking about girls, right? Or today, maybe video games and that. But you think about when you were a kid, all right, the demand is soaring for these products. Companies are producing them, making them, pushing them out, having commercials on TV, having your parents see it, having you ask, Mommy, this is what I want for Christmas, right? So demand is high at that time. Demand is high, and then all of a sudden it wanes because people are growing older. If if you don't come out with something new, the product dies. The product dies and it goes down. Demand goes way down. All right, and then when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you're having a family, you're thinking, you're working your butt off, you're kind of hardly saving any money, right? And finally, in your 40s, 45, your kids move out. You got all this extra money, you don't know what to do with it. So you think about when you were a kid, right? You think about what you used to play with and you thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I owned that again? So then you start looking around. You start looking on eBay, looking at yard sales, looking at flea markets for all this stuff. Demand is banging, right? Demand is high. So I'm 48 years old, I'm getting right into that. Right now is when demand is booming for stuff when I was a kid. So people need to be looking for those things from the mid 80s. That's what's really popular right now. But the price is kind of high right now. You look at Star Wars figurines and that, you know. But what about the stuff from the 90s, the early 90s? I think you can buy that stuff right now and turn a profit on it in 10 years if you're looking to invest. If you're looking to invest, you're looking to see what something's worth in the future. Now is the time to invest in 90s stuff, because you can buy, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle new in the box set for $100, right? But I contend in 10 years that $100 can be worth $1,000. Going to be worth $1,000. That's a greater return you're ever going to get in the stock market. So you need to predict what items are going to explode, and you want to buy those right now. You know, or you can think about what's hot right now. What can you buy right now? You know, so one of the things that comes to my mind is like The Walking Dead. I've been collecting Walking Dead comic books for over 10 years. I got the #1 issue, and right now it's worth about $2,000. I think in 15, 20 years, so they're going to cancel the show, demand's going to go down, and then people are going to start thinking about it, and demand's going to spike. 20 years from now, that comic book I think could be worth $50,000. They only made about 7,000 copies, which isn't a lot for a comic book. So pick up The Walking Dead #1 right now for $2,000, $50,000 in 20 years. Great investment, great investment. Then we got hype-specific collectibles. I hate these collectibles. They're the ones like Beanie Babies, right? They come out with a book, they come out with a price guide. Everybody says, buy Beanie Babies, it's crazy. Don't freaking buy Beanie Babies, all right? People were buying them, lines were out the door, but it was middle-aged women, right? It was middle-aged women waiting in line to buy these Beanie Babies. It's not a kid 10 years old playing with a toy who wants to buy it later on. So Beanie Babies went up, skyrocketed, right? You can see it skyrocketed, and then plummeted. I get people coming in and trying to sell me 5,000 Beanie Babies at a time. I mean, I sell them for a quarter. What the heck am I going to give them? A nickel? I mean, Beanie Babies are horrible. People might say, oh, this one Beanie Baby's worth $100 or $1,000. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I've never seen them sell for that much. I mean, if this is the whole market for Beanie Babies, maybe 1% or less than 1% might still be worth something, but I just try to stay away from that kind of stuff. Hummels. My mom used to buy Hummels for $4 or $5. My dad would buy my mom a Hummel for Christmas, $500. I can't get 25 bucks out of those damn things anymore. Any of that Princess House, any of that stuff, those the little bears, the collectible bear, stay away from it. It's no good. It's not collectible. The demand will, unless you can be a supplier when demand is going up, stay away from it. They're not worth any money. If anybody collects something as an adult, there's no future value in it, so stay away from it. Remember, in collectibles, it's condition, condition, condition. Everything is condition. If you get a baseball card, the book value might say $10, but if it's a Gem Mint 10, that's worth $100. It's worth 10, 20 times worth what the book value says it's worth. So ignore the book when it comes to something that's in perfect condition, because everybody wants that. I'm going to show you here in a few minutes a comic book. It is Conan #1. A guy read it 50 years ago, put it away into a box, sold it to me some years later. I bought it from him, and it's perfect mint condition. I think it's one of the best comics, best quality, best condition comics I ever had, and it could make it worth 10, 20 times the regular value once I get it graded. And always look for home runs. I start out with home runs. I'm going to end with home runs because we always need to look for home runs. Home runs are when you find something that's worth a lot of money. When you buy something for $5 at a flea market, you end up getting $500 for that. Remember, we always hit base hits, make $10, $20, right? Remember, the average household income is what, like $47,000 a year? So that's $23 an hour. You can buy 2 things an hour, buy and sell 2 things an hour, right, on eBay, and you can make $40 an hour. You can make double the average household income just by selling 2 things 40 hours a week on eBay, finding them at thrift stores, finding them at garage sales, and collectibles is a great part. Listen, let's go out to my store. I just want to give you a little tour on my collectibles department, what I have, everything in my collectibles department, or almost everything, could also be sold on eBay. But I need to fill my store, and then I have my eBay manager taking what he wants out of there and selling over on eBay. So follow me out here. Alright guys, well this is my collectible department at my store. You can see that great big Eminem up there in the top. This was a store display. It's a really cool Eminem. I bought it off a guy. I got it up there for $350. It's about what it sells for on eBay. This table is filled with ceramic dolls. I really don't like ceramic dolls. It's really not my cup of tea, but a lot of people do. A lot of older ladies collect ceramic dolls. They do sell. Lady's a little scary. Video games. I bought a guy out with some video games. I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon. Over here we got some Star Wars stuff. Look at that, Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars. Star Wars is great. People love Star Wars. They buy the heck out of Star Wars. Got a Patron case here. NASCAR. NASCAR is one of those things that I was talking about. Adults bought it. And so now it's going out. Somebody, even like this Jeff Gordon car, I'm selling for $12.99. I'm really selling it as a truck with a race car to some little kid who might like it. Because as a collectible, Jeff Gordon car, really isn't bringing much demand anymore. I'm sure the guy that bought this paid 40 bucks for it, and now I'm getting $12.99 out of it. Football stuff, anything sports related is good. Hey, there's some of those Beanie Babies. So I got a Beanie Baby here. They're in the case. I put $4.99 on them just because they have the plastic box. That's about what would cost you to get the box. So that's why I have it out. Collector plates worth nothing nowadays. Your grandma used to collect them. That's the truth. Grandmas collected them, and now they're going out of style. They're dying off, so people no longer want it. These are Barbies. Barbies aren't too bad. There's still a lot of collectors out there, but the craze of 30 years ago is not still around, but there are some hardcore collectors. You know, I like beer signs, anything beer sign, alcohol related, because you get people who are decorating their man cave or something like that. Here, this is really cool. I picked this up at a yard sale. So it's a Patron bar. Look at that, Patron bar. It's like a travel case that you can put all your Patron in. I'm trying to sell it for 500 bucks. Vending machine. I had 2 vintage Coca-Cola machines in here. They're from 1962, all original paint. This one's the bottle. I sold the can machine, $500. This one's still here. I'm trying to sell this. Here's a vintage cigarette machine. I had 3, and this is the last one I got. I was shocked that the other 2 sold. I really didn't care to get them in the deal. I didn't price them in the deal, but I still bought it, and the other 2 sold. Over here, these are kind of popular right now. The Marvel, I think they're called Funko Pops or something like that. Those are pretty popular. I got a bunch of Elvis stuff, but really Elvis fans are dying off. Not too popular. This little game here is kind of cool, yeah. People remember this game. I should be able to sell that pretty fast. Some Transformer stuff. Let me see. What else do I got? Oh, Marvel Premier Collection. Over here I got comic books. These are my $1 comic books. So I sell a lot of comic books for $1. I try to buy big collections, get them cheap, sell them for $1 a piece. I think this is the game where you make the light go around, you try to stop it on the red light to get the win, and then that prize pops out. I'm trying to sell that for 400 bucks. This is a stroller. This is kind of a cool stroller from the 50s. Very old, very vintage. You know, it's worth probably $300. I bought it at an auction for 10 bucks. But it's just kind of a piece that we have laying around here. Let's see. Eminem stuff is really popular. I got a lot of Eminem stuff. Sports. Here's a bunch of Eminem stuff. Yeah, this collection I bought out had a ton of it. Here's a Hummel plate. Remember, they don't sell anymore. They're hard to make money on. Old Tinker Toys, I had those. I played with these when I was a kid, but they were my dad's when he was a kid. My grandmother saved it. Here's a green stamps machine. If you remember that, you gotta be beyond 50 to remember that. Old Pepsi bottles. Here's a wrestling figurine. Hey, remember, wrestling figurines from the 80s are incredibly valuable. Incredibly valuable. If you get the newer ones, they're still sellable, they're just not as valuable. You can probably get $5, $10 out of them. There we go, more Transformers, more Eminem stuff. A Budweiser clock. Somebody will buy that and put it in their bar. Let's see here. More ceramic dolls, not really feeling them. Not really feeling them. Sports stuff. Sports stuff. Then I have some paintings and pictures over here. Oh, look at this. This is from a Disney. This is when Mel Blanc died. I believe that he was one of the writers for Looney Tunes. So that's a pretty cool picture. Mickey Mouse clock. That's kind of cool. Let me get to the other side here. This is another piece that I bought at a yard sale. Is a full-size Captain Morgan's. So this is like you would see in your liquor store. This is really, really cool. I have a price on it that says I really don't want to sell it. I got $1,000 on it, but I really, really don't want to sell it. I don't care to sell it. It's more of my focal piece here in my collectibles department. This is cool though. This is marked, I think, $119. So this is an old advertising piece. It's a huge lure that used to go in the fish stores, hang up on the ceiling, you know, to sell lures. That's really cool. These little toys are like $400 a piece if you buy them new. They're pretty slick. They stand up, they roar, they do all these different things. I don't know if I can get, there we go. Yeah. So those are in right now. I forget what they call them, but those are in right now. This is another liquor. This is Sailor Jerry spiced rum. This little gal. And here's my Kool-Aid Man, another display, another store display. Store displays are really cool. People want to put them in their basement, in their man caves. They do like them. More NASCAR stuff. Like I said, I don't really like the NASCAR. And then last but not, oh, here we go, an old record player. I had one of those wind-up Victrolas here, but I already sold it. But last but not least, I want to show you some comic books. I have some really, really cool comic books. There's the Wolverine #1, 9.8 graded, but that's the second appearance of Wolverine. Tarzan, Battlestar Galactica #1, Firestorm #1. So this is the Walking Dead #1 right here, and I think it's, you know, in really good condition, probably like a 9.6, perfect condition. And this comic book next to it is called Invincible. So Robert Kirkman wrote Walking Dead, but this is the first comic book that Kirkman ever made, so that's also worth $400 or $500. The Walking Dead's worth about $2,000 right now in this condition. I really like those. Here's some old Spider-Man, graded Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man 129. This is a really cool book because it's the first Punisher. This is Spider-Man #5 and #7. So those are really, really old books, very collectible books. I have comic books going all the way across the top for decoration in here. Decoration going across the top. People try to buy them, but I really don't want to take them down. Some more graded comic books. Submariner #1. This is the first Mr. Freeze, this Batman comic. New Mutants #1, Shazam, Mrs. Marvel. Okay, that's Hulk 181. Hulk 181 is the first Wolverine. So that other book was the first comic book named Wolverine. This is the first time Wolverine ever made an appearance. Battlestar Galactica, Spider-Woman #1, Star Wars, first Swamp Thing. Battlestar Galactica, Human Fly. So this is the Conan that I was talking about earlier. This thing is just in almost perfect condition. I don't even want to touch it. I want to let anybody handle it. It's in such great condition. I think that could be worth a lot of money. I bought that comic book with about 1,000 other comic books for $1,000 off a guy in New York. So I'm going to save that one for a little while. I'm trying to figure out when the best time is for me to get rid of my collectibles, all the stuff that I had, because I got a feeling that, you know, when I die, pass away, my wife's going to just sell them all for like $100, even though I got tens of thousands of dollars invested in them. So this is my collectibles section here at Resale America. We're buying collectibles every day. When we first started this, we hardly had anything in here, and in just 7 weeks, we've collected almost all of the stuff from the public. They brought it in, sold it to us, and, you know, we priced it so that we can make some money. Hey guys, so if you like this video, please comment, please share. Tell me the best collectible that you've ever bought in your life and how much money you made on it. Liquidation Motivation is my channel. Please have everybody share. Please tell your friends about us. All I want to do is help you earn money, help you not work for somebody else, help you be a better person, have a better future. That's all I want to do, and I'm going to charge you nothing. So Liquidation Motivation is my channel. Resale America is my store. Now go out and make some money.